get into these fake trades here, guys. So you guys know how my brain works. I can't sit still. So over the bye week, I started thinking a little bit about this, doing some research, making some phone calls to see what compensation might be. And I think I've come up with 5 real trades and one that's way out there but would be a lot of fun that I think you guys are going to enjoy. So here's how we're going to do it. Before each of these trades, because last time we did fake trades, everyone was like, this will never happen. So I made it very simple. We made graphs to show you guys where on the axis of real and fun does this hypothetical trade fall. So before each one, you're going to see a McNugget, or it's actually my face, on a graph to show you how I think how realistic and fun this trade would be. So these are all trades I would like to see the Browns consider.
And the axis points are realistic and fun.
No, it is fun on the left. Your vertical axis is fun. On the horizontal line, it is realistic.
It's F around
and find out.
Exactly. So I'm going to give you the scale, or the graph, excuse me. Then I'll give you the trade. I'll hear your thoughts, and I'll tell you why it won't happen or will happen at the end. Okay. The first one is a Courtland Sutton trade. And on the graphic, Steve, it is a 6 on the fun level, a 2 on the real level. And I'll tell you why in a sec. But here are the details of the trade. The Browns would receive Courtland Sutton, the receiver from the Broncos, in exchange for a 4th-round pick and Cam Mitchell. Here's why it makes sense. The Browns desperately need a wide receiver. Like, desperately need another wide receiver. The Broncos are an absolute catastrophic dumpster fire. Sorry, Anthony. And they are looking to recoup any and all assets humanly possible. The problem is Sutton is set to make $17 million in 2024 and 2025, which makes it a very, very hard.
The elephant in the room.
A very, very hard trade to pull off, which is why on the realistic level it was at a 2. But in the world where Jimmy Haslip says, F it, money doesn't matter, is this the right compensation? Would you take Courtland Sutton? What are your thoughts on this?
No,
I would not do it.
And I played with Courtland, and I really good dude. Enjoyed my time in Denver with him. He hasn't been quite the same since he tore his ACL.
I agree with that.
And $17 million, that he ain't playing like.
I mean, he tore his ACL a couple of times.
He just ain't been the same guy. Like before that, dude was like that. Like he was going over on top of people catching the thing. Like he ended up, I think he blessed Denzel one time, but. Ever since that injury, he ain't played like that or even been remotely close to that. So for $17 million, I'll roll it out with DPJ.
He does have 4 touchdowns this year, which is 400% more than the Browns' entire receiving room has.
In garbage time, probably.
Well, this team's 1-5, so probably a lot of those were in garbage time. Russ has been pretty good throwing the ball this year.
In garbage time.
In garbage time is facts, but he's got, 11 touchdowns and 2 picks or something like that?
He run like he got lineman knee braces on.
Are you saying that? Are you possibly saying that he's not a good quarterback?
No, I'm talking.
No, you're talking about Sutton.
Oh, I thought I was about to say
your boy got a diesel knee brace. Shifted
he's
into
still
gear.
Wearing the knee brace,
man. I said he run like he got one. That's even worse.
That's a no for me. I think you're going in the right direction. Like, we've got to improve the wide receiver room. Every time I hear that, a little bit of throw up creeps into my mouth. 1 touchdown for our entire wide receiver room in 5 games.
It's ridiculous.
Hey, can you imagine?
You can't do that.
Elijah Moore is even worse than he was with the Jets. That's crazy.
Now, to Mary Kay's point, we've only really seen him 3 games with the A-team quarterback.
Oh, okay.
Like the last 2 games.
Where you going with this?
No, the last 2 games.
Well, he was open the last game. He got missed. They didn't get the ball to him.
Right. Let's hope that the quarterback wide receiver chemistry that does take time to develop. Let's hope that it was just coming into focus for when we had Tennessee Watson. And moving forward, but I'm going to start judging him more and more harshly with each game. Like Jason said about Deshaun. Before the Tennessee game, each time I go out and watch him play poorly, in my mind, it's less likely that we're ever going to see Houston Watson.
Has the council stricken his reverse plays from the playbook?
No, those are always going to be part of the record. Oh. And you said it earlier, and Mary Kay touched on it. She thinks they should move on from trying to use him in the run game. I agree with that. Just give all of his run plays to Marquise Goodwin.
Transferable. Western Union them joints right on over to him. I like how he got upfield. But yeah, like,
but this the thing. I always thought Elijah Moore was fast, and he don't outrun nobody.
Listen, you
Bro.
can be fast. You've got to see things. He's
just-
not picking
he
the right
ain't got
hole.
that either.
dang, Tyvis, thank you for being. Hey, listen, my mother was like, I do. My mother calls you out for being. Like, I'm like, bro, you're a really supportive person.
Yeah, you got the
She was
juice
like,
like that.
that number 8. Is he hurt? I said, what you mean he hurt? He ready to go.
Mom doesn't like him?
He's like, listen.
He not fast like
he
that.
can't get around the corner.
Yeah, Marquise did it in pure.
Marquise is when you watch
You're right,
Marquise,
yeah.
he's got a different gear.
But like,
he's Olympic fast.
What did Mark? He ran a 4.3, didn't he?
And he not even
Allegedly.
He don't got no joystick game
Like,
either.
Man, he ain't got no
No,
burst.
Marquise good when
It's not no burst to
No.
him.
So,
and you know
Even
what? The Browns
Odell
saw
after
the same
3
thing on Sunday.
ACLs still got a burst.
Yeah.
The Browns saw the same thing on Sunday. They saw Marquise look like he was shot out of a cannon,
Right.
and they saw number 8 running backward.
Backwards again.
Like, I
Nope.
can't have that. Okay.
All right, this next trade was Jason Lloyd's personal favorite.
Oh, good.
I gotta see if this is
Yeah, I
good.
mean,
Yeah,
this might be.
realistic fun level.
he said he was
He
mad
did.
he didn't think of it.
He didn't guess.
He
This
on
is
the
conservative.
realistic fun level. This is a 10 on the fun and a 6 on the realistic level.
Okay.
Could I interest you guys in Saquon Barkley?
Oh
No.
my God.
For a third-round pick.
To do what?
You think the Giants are going to trade him for a third-round pick?
The Giants are tanking. He
I
is under
understand that.
contract for 0 games after this year. He's on the franchise tag.
Right?
If nothing else, he adds a receiving threat to the backfield,
That's true.
which they started to utilize more this past week with the screen game with Kareem Hunt. Say what you want about Kareem Hunt. Saquon, at least in that aspect, adds a whole new element to this offense as far as a yak
Why would
receiver.
they give him? I don't.
The Giants are trying to recoup assets. They
Hey,
have
you-
nothing to play for. They are 1-5. They are
Well,
in flat
you
out
know
tank
what?
mode.
Listen,
and he is
take
going
him.
to be a free agent that they are not going to resign.
No,
So
maybe-
if you get a third round pick back for him, the Giants. I'm telling you, the Giants would gladly take it.
If they take that trade, I'd take it.
Here's the key, and this is why you said earlier, McNugget says some things that on face value they're nuts, and then
Yeah.
you think about them. The fact that it wouldn't hurt their salary cap situation for next year, they're in good position this year. What they can't do is take on money that's going to hurt them after this year. So the more I think about that,
They ain't gonna take him. They ain't giving up Saquon for no third. But if they,
I
if
don't think they
do,
will.
I'd
I
take
don't
that
think
to
they'll
the
get, because
bank.
you know why?
My dad said, my dad, as a Giants fan, is the same way. He said if we got a 5th, we'd send him in a heartbeat. I said that feels too low.
Fifth. Here's the thing.
They have no picks. They need
Don't
picks.
you think,
I'd
though,
pick the
Mike, that
phone
there's
up.
going to be another team that has draft assets that we don't, that would say, oh, we can beat that. We'll give you a second for him.
But
Well,
you're only going to get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. I mean, he's only in
Wait,
a contract
4
for
or 5 or 6?
Yeah, that was
Wait,
done. You only
I've
get
got 12 left.
10
I'm
games out of
sure that they
I've
will
got
be,
12 left.
They,
Well, if it's another team who had another bye week, you're getting essentially 10, 11 games.
I'm sure they would say we want to extend you to a bigger deal after this.
I don't
If
know
I'm
that-
giving
no,
up
I don't-
anything
no,
more than a third, I'm talking about if I'm not the Browns. I'm
Yeah,
talking
oh,
about
another
any other-
team, yeah. No, that's
any other
true. Some
team.
team
If you're
could
giving
offer
up a
sign and
first or a
trade.
second, you definitely extending his contract for sure.
That's what I'm saying. A third feels about the right value for half a season of Saquon.
Yeah,
They not giving that up. If they do,
The
I
Giants
take
are
the
trying to
trade.
lose, Ty.
I
They're
take the
officially
trade.
in tank mode.
I take
So
the-
they-
Could you imagine, though, Giants fans? Like, I know you're trying to tank, but he's your only
He's the only weapon
valuable player.
ever.
Yeah, when you're trying to get a new quarterback and you have to have the lowest.
Wait,
draft
how can you get a new quarterback? You just paid
paid
Jones.
He's only a 2-year deal. He's out after next year. His contract's 2 years guaranteed, 2 years. It's 2-year, $80 million deal. That whole $160
See,
million.
that's why you
thing.
do. That's why you do a deal like that, right there.
Yeah, it was a 2-year, fully
you can
guaranteed.
punt.
least he
You
got-
can punt on that.
at
When
least
you
he got 80
guarantee
million.
that bread for 5 years, you got handcuffs.
Listen, he don't care. He up 80.
No, it's great for him, but it's also great for the Giants
He walked in there.
because they've probably already made
one
the
season.
decision.
Give me all the money.
Can't do it. Can't win with them.
They're going to draft a quarterback in the first round next
I'm
year.
doing that. I would do that move because.
Still taking Caleb Williams after what he looked
Yep.
like against Notre Dame?
Yep.
Because that boy looked like he was seeing
Have
ghosts.
you seen Daniel Jones play any game of his career? Like, yeah, you take almost anyone over that.
Okay.
They not. Well, first of all, he's going first pick, so you got to deal with Drake May or Michael Penix Jr. or something like that.
Yeah, you do. All right. Fun. If they could do it, I would say yes, do it.
I'll make the move, and even if they want it, I consider doing it for a second round pick.
Do we got a second-round pick? Yeah, we do.
The Browns do.
I
I
consider
cannot
doing-
see the Browns giving up a second-round pick for a half-year rental. at
Why,
running back.
why
I
not?
can't.
Mary Kay just said you
They
could go to
gotta be.
Super
Well, they
Bowl.
all
I
in
think
on this season.
This
so.
trade isn't just for the regular season.
Yeah, that's playoff.
Like,
It's a postseason trade, yeah.
Yeah, so
a
it's
weapon for
not.
the
You keep
postseason.
saying 4, 5, 6, 7 games.
Nah.
I got 12 left. He won't play this week, so that's 11. Plus, the most important games of the year are the ones in January. So I don't know. It's not crazy.
You
Mike.
would 100% take that deal.
And by the way,
if I'm the Browns, I'm 100%. I would take
if
that.
Nick Chubb is not ready to come back at the beginning of next year, I'd consider assigning him to another 1-year deal, and I'd give him $13 million. What are you getting, 10 or 11? I'll give him 13 for a
10
year.
We're going to punt that money down the road, too?
Heck yeah. That money's going down the road. I need all the weapons I can get.
What can they do with Chubb?
Nothing.
They're gonna restructure.
Oh, they
his
got to
contract.
restructure.
Yeah,
it.
I
They have
mean-
to restructure it.
And what is the number? What is the target number for where he's going to be?
What is he
That's
supposed-
the $64 million.
And
We
you don't know.
projected 16, right?
No. He'll
18.
Oh,
I think it's 18.
He'll take. It's different now. See, injury,
Yeah, no, it is different.
It's
He'll
different
take-
now.
yeah, he
Yeah.
definitely
So
take
when
it.
you see you tear the first ACL, you still cocky a little bit. You tear the second ACL.
Well, now wait a minute. He didn't tear it in Georgia.
He didn't, but
He tore his MCL.
He's had multiple knee surgeries.
He's got knee surgery.
Yes, he
Let's
did.
put
So
it that
when
way.
you get to,
I know what that means.
When you get the second one, you
slows
start
you
to
down, man.
It slows. Listen, if anything, it shows you that you're immortal.
Yeah.
You can die out here, bro. And he's gonna be like, well, look, I just want to stay here, bro. I'm not trying to go to no other team.
Right.
Give me 12.
There
If I
you
can
go.
get 12 for him
13.
and 13 for Saquon, and we and Stefanski,
Listen, you got a
dust that old playbook
1-2
off.
punch. You take now. You ain't got to worry about 20 carries a game.
They didn't know what to do with Chubb and Hunt.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Well, Hunt was
Chubb-
Hunt.
Could you imagine, though, Chubb and Saquon in the
Tyvis
same
said
backfield?
earlier-
That'd be a mic drop.
Tyvis said earlier, I put some of these out there, and in the moment you're like, no, and then you kind of think.
Man.
about it.
No,
telling
listen.
you.
The
That's
longer I
Saquon.
let that marinade, the longer I'm like, let's
And I'm
do it.
like, he did take that 1-year deal.
What's next? We got to move past.
I like that.
All right, next one.
That's my favorite one.
I
The
do too.
realistic level is a 0.001 on this one. The fun level is 7. You would only even remotely consider this if you thought Deshaun Watson's shoulder
Yeah.
was not going to recover properly. This is a only if you're not confident Deshaun's coming back. But in that instance, and we'll go through this one quick because it sounds like he's going to be back, so we're going to run through this. But would you give the Vikings a second for Kirk Cousins?
Yes,
What's his contract situation?
Free agent after the year.
free agent.
Wow, man.
But you need a quarterback. You all listen. This is it. I don't think y'all understand that after this season, stuff got to happen to the roster. So,
Oh, I know.
this is
I'm
it.
very aware
You
of
got to
that.
be all in. So you might as well.
I don't hate that, but I'll tell you why I'm not going to do it. I
'Cause Kevin
trust
worked-
Mary Kay Cabot,
Oh,
and she said that.
about the show.
Just reading between the lines of what Mary Kay said, he's supposed to play Sunday.
No, well, he
like-
said if he doesn't come back.
And
That's what he was saying.
I was thinking best case scenario. That's like best case scenario for me was, oh, they ain't gonna bring him back Seattle. He'll come back, play Arizona, right? See if you can get some wins. She's
saying the Colts.
She's saying Colts.
He
game.
definitely should go.
Yeah. I mean, if he throws tomorrow and wakes
That's
up
been-
Thursday and feels good,
Well, that's because
he's a go.
You went out there and you missed out. Your boys went out there and had the time of their life doing something nobody thought they could.
You're right.
And you wasn't a part of it.
that
It hurt.
hurts.
It hurt,
It
man.
hurts.
It hurt.
Yep.
It hurt. You supposed to be the franchise guy, and they did it without
when
you.
Yeah,
dudes
they
is
know, that's
jumping up and down in them pads.
I'm telling
they
you.
giving out them game balls in the locker room, and you just looking around. I
You're
done
in
been
sweats.
there. Listen, I was in sweats so much that I just felt like I should get the school back some money. I'm like, listen, let me go ahead and repay you, like, because I'm just never doing nothing.
I
It
know
shit
that.
hurts.
I know that because I see somebody do that when I was at O State. Braxton did that. You ever talk to Braxton? He don't even talk about the championship
No,
because he wasn't even a part
Yeah,
of it.
I know.
He was out the whole year.
that's crazy.
I mean, not the whole year.
He was out the whole year.
Yeah, it was.
He tore it. He messed his shoulder up in
And
training
pre-
camp.
yeah. Wow. Ain't that
Ah,
when you? And we went there. You know, we got to play in the swamp in Florida, and I'm just sitting there on crutches, just like, this is terrible.
Like, did it really happen?
Did it really happen?
You know?
People like, oh, yeah, I see. You know how MAC schools, you go down the list. Listen, you play for a MAC school, you look at every single big school you going to play.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, man, I done missed 2 calendar years. I done missed all the games I even came here for. What is this worth?
Here's my scholarship
Get
back.
back here. Take this.
Yeah, if something happens and he's
Out for the year.
I have to look and see where we are. You know, if by
What else you gonna do, Jay?
no, listen. If you lose to Indianapolis, you lose to Seattle,
Even if you won,
and now you're 3-4.
even if you won with P.J. Walker and Deshaun is out, you're not winning the Super Bowl with P.J. Walker or
No.
DTR.
No, that's true.
You got to
I think-
get the guy that at least he's worked with. Didn't he work with Kevin Stefanski?
He did.
Yeah, 1 year maybe.
He did,
I
and
think-
he has said, Cousins said he's not going to waive his no-trade clause, but maybe
saw
if the
that
Browns
yesterday.
entered the conversation
Hey.
with his old coach,
Maybe.
that could be a contingent.
The
You know-
Browns can win a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins.
With this defense.
Yeah, 'cause that
With this
defense-
defense,
the
it would be
defense is
like what the
good.
Bucks did with Brad Johnson.
Yeah.
What the Ravens did with Trent
But I
Dilfer.
think he's above. To me, he's a step above average. Like,
I agree
he's
with
good.
that, yeah.
I think he's good. Like, it's not like he's trash.
Who's Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
He's just average.
I think he's good. I think with
Just
good.
average.
I think
He's average and he has moments.
I think he's good.
Huh. I'd have him top 13 or 14, which
Right?
Top half.
yeah.
You can win with that.
Yeah, he's
With
average.
this defense,
He's average.
you can win with that.
You can
He's
win
average.
with that.
Yeah.
Shoot.
What you just told me was he's average.
Yeah.
I think to me, average would be if he's 16 or 17, and I do think he's closer
I
to
think
the
he's
top
good.
10. He's not in the top 10.
I mean,
In
all he
1
does is
p.m.
throw for
games,
4,000.
he's top 10. In anything that's not a 1 p.m. game, he's
Is that a
not-
fact?
He's not good in primetime. His
Not
primetime
at all.
stats are abysmal.
Oh, you're talking
think
about
he won
prime time. I
what?
thought you were
no,
talking
no,
about the difference
like 4
between 1 and
p.m.
4.
Anything that's not a 1 p.m. game,
Okay,
he's not good.
that's interesting.
Well, the
All
Browns
right, the
play a
first
bunch
trade I
of
threw
those,
out
so.
there for you guys was for a receiver. I got another receiver trade. This one I think is a little more realistic. I actually like this one a little more. It's got a 7 and a 7 on the realistic and fun level deal.
Wow.
When I'm looking at guys the Browns could acquire,
I like
you
it.
take a little realism here. It's guys who are in the last year of their contracts
Yeah.
because they're not going to take out money for next year, which eliminates a lot of the big names, but you got to look at tanking teams.
What are we
And what
giving
about
up?
Hollywood Brown?
That's
Yeah,
what I want to know.
no,
What if they
I
traded
like him.
Marquise Brown and a 6th for a 3rd-round pick this year and a
Who is
5th-round pick
Marquise
next year?
Brown?
Marquise Brown entering the last year, or he's in the last year of his contract. We already know AB and the GM in Arizona have trade
3rd
chemistry. They
and
made the
a
Dobbs
5th.
trade. So a 3rd and next year's 5th for Marquise Brown and a 6th-round pick this year.
Why are we? I take
Done.
that. Yeah,
Done.
Minimowski.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, because I think, he got dropping. He drops the ball, but that speed is real. He would be what you thought Elijah Moore was supposed to be,
Listen, I throw in,
except without the running the ball.
I throw in the meal plan too. Like, just come through. I got a chef for you.
You talk about stretching the field. right?
I got a meal plan. Hey, yo, nutritionist, come through, bro. We got somebody
take
cleaning
that.
up your quarters. Listen, we ready to go, bro. Give me that trade.
I'd do that. I like the way you're targeting teams that are just done.
It's easy to make trades for, like, any team before the season, but
Yeah.
the Rams aren't going to trade Cooper Kupp now. So
The way the
that's out.
Giants and the Vikings, the Cardinals knew what they were going to be, but the Giants and the Vikings have been slapped in the face with the first 6-game reality. And, last year the Vikings were 11-0 in 1-score games. This year, I think they're 1-4
Yeah.
in those same games. You live by that sword, you're going to die by it the bigger the sample size gets. So I think Minnesota would be willing to move on. The Giants are willing to move on.
Minnesota threw because Jay Jetter's out for like 4 weeks.
Right.
And on top of that, they let their whole D-line go to the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, they
so That was,
They did.
Yeah.
Don't know what they were thinking.
We got 2 more. I wanted Bull here to be for the next one because Bull kind of inspired this. He had mentioned Trent Brown before, so I tried to figure out a deal to bring Trent Brown, the offensive tackle from the Patriots. Another team who thought they would be in contention this year has been an abomination. This one's not that fun because it's for an offensive lineman, but I do think it is a chance of realistic possibility to happen. Even though the Browns aren't going to trade for a tackle, they're committed to Jed Wills. This is probably their most realistic target. The reports out of Boston that the Patriots are listening to trade offers for Brown. No teams have been mentioned, but would you give a 3rd and a future 6th for Trent Brown, who's a top 5 graded PFF, which once again,
Done.
PFF
Yep.
I thought Jed
not
Wills
perfect.
in there too.
They're top 5 in both.
If they would
in
take
both
Jed Wills,
rough
they
side.
wouldn't take Jed Wills.
They wouldn't take Jed Wills.
No, we're stuck with that.
We're ready to roll.
We'll
You
do
know.
y'all. I'll do you a solid.
Yeah,
Hey,
they'll say you pay his 5th year. We'll take him.
No, I don't
Other
wanna-
than that,
no,
we're not letting him in our building.
Not doing that.
This should really.
You pay his 5th year.
You should be really squared up. Like when people say I don't want to give no picks up, just ask yourself, where the heck is Cedric Tillman? Where's
I know.
Anthony Schwartz?
We've given picks up.
David Bell caught a nice ball for 6 yards, but it's David Bell. That was like one catch.
What round was he drafted?
Third.
So was Schwartz.
So Tillman, Schwartz, and Bell, 3rd round product.
Yeah, I would stop taking receivers in the
Yeah,
third round.
I think we.
Do you got
Yeah, we need to move
third
on.
round pick? You got Phillips, who gets hurt every year.
Yep.
He's hurt right now.
Yep.
Like what are you talking about? Why would you
We
care?
got Martin Emerson in the 3rd. Alex Wright.
That's one couple out of 4. Out of
He
4
just has
drafts.
not hit on wide receivers.
No, he.
So-
I mean, but G said it. When has this franchise give us the one receiver this franchise drafted
Ever.
and developed?
Ever.
He was a tight end. His name was Ozzie Newsome.
That's it.
That's the only
Kelly
one.
Winslow was okay.
I mean, Webster Slaughter had some time.
He did.
He was a 1st-round pick, I think, out of San Diego State. Had a nice career.
He did.
Brian Brennan was a very serviceable. He was out of Boston College. Was the possession slot 3rd down guy that every team needs.
What about Corey Coleman?
No, bust. Huge bust.
Braylon Edwards.
The poster child of bust. Although he did have 1 year.
He had one.
He had 1 year. Well, when you're taking in the
don't
first
do
round.
that.
And the best receiver they ever had, they let walk to the Jaguars.
Dennis
Keenan
Northcutt.
McCardle.
Oh.
And
Hey,
he
did
can
I
put
see
up
him
crazy
coaching?
yards.
I think he's a coach. I'm pretty sure I saw him on someone's sideline, maybe the Vikings on Sunday. Keenan McCardle. Is he with the Vikings as a coach?
I can look that up.
I
I'm not
thought you was
positive.
about to say Dennis Northcutt.
Nah,
The
Dennis
king of pushing off.
No, Dennis Northcutt thought he was. Let me see what he thought he was back in the day.
He's remembered for the wrong reason in Cleveland.
He thought he was. He
thought
thought he
That
was
damn
better than-
4th down drop.
Thank you.
Hey, remember them? Remember the Browns thought they had them receivers? They was going teacup formation. Andre Davis, Quincy Morris, Dennis Northcutt,
Man.
and
That's a whole lot of bad.
And Kevin Johnson.
Kevin Johnson had some moments.
I say
Them
Kevin
4
Johnson was
receivers.
all right.
Hey, Andre Davis and Quincy Morgan was fast.
Who caught the Hail Mary from Tim Couch? Was it Johnson?
It was one of them fools.
Look it up.
Tim Couch threw that. That thing was that thing was thrown.
Yeah.
It
You talking about
might-
the one in New Orleans?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it was him. It was either him or Quincy Morgan.
I think it was Kevin Johnson.
Man,
He
wow.
threw that thing like 70
Johnson
yards.
sounds right to me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Kevin Johnson.
I didn't get the information.
All right, we got one more here, Jay. This one is the let's just throw a wrench in everything, have a lot of fun with this. On the scale, there is a 0. Steve, take the graph here. This is 0.000000001% chance
Look
this
at the
happens.
fun.
However, it is a
fun.
10,000 on the fun. G. Bush, we talk about not having weapons in the receiver room. Well, let's talk about having too many weapons on the defensive line. Let's add the league's top-ranked sack artist to the Browns' defensive line. What if I could tell you the Vikings would be willing to part ways with Danielle Hunter, David Questenberry, and a 6th-round pick for our 2nd-round pick, our 3rd-round pick, Jed Wills Jr., Donovan Peoples-Jones, Austin Watkins Jr., and a giant pile of cash
Kevin Johnson was the answer.
to add the league's top sack artist
He got Jed Wells.
to a defensive line with Miles Garrett, Zadarius Smith, and Dalvin Tomlinson. Hey, we already took
Well, hell, they've already given us everybody
I'm about
else.
to
in the
say,
I was going to say, we've
defensive
already
Right.
taken half their defensive line from last year. Let's bring home the 3rd and maybe the most talented of the trio.
I tell you
Him
what.
alongside with those guys makes a lot of sense. Hunter, the last year of his deal. Once again, this will never happen. But, oh, my goodness, can you imagine Jim Schwartz with those weapons
I don't
on the
know.
defensive
I don't
line?
know who their D-line coach is, but he does a really good job because every time we get a D-lineman from the Vikings, they do well. You remember Sheldon Richardson was
Yeah.
from there. He
Yes.
was really good as a defensive tackle. And now you get these two, Zadarius and Dalvin.
Tomlinson.
They all very productive. If that
Why
should
are
be
they
our
letting
new,
them go,
That
though?
should be our new thing.
Money.
I guess.
No, it's definitely the money.
They're in like cap purgatory. Like
They have so much dead cap on their sheet, it's absurd.
From who?
we will
from a
too,
lot of guys.
in two or three
Who
years.
did they pay
That's gonna be us.
that they don't have?
Atlanta too.
Dalvin Cook.
They were in cap hell.
Oh yeah, Dalvin.
Yep.
That's the only one though.
Nah,
No, there's
I'll
others.
pull it up for you. Andy.
There are
They got-
others.
Who the linebacker that left?
There are
Anthony
definitely
Barr,
others.
Eric Kendricks. Those guys both are dead cap hits this year. But imagine adding a guy with 8.5 sacks this season to the Browns defense. Like, you can start winning games 3-0. Like, you score a field goal on your first drive, just go home.
You might
It's
win
over.
2-0.
Hell, you might
You
win
get a
4-0.
sack in the end zone, and that's
That's two
all.
safeties
That's
a
it.
game. That's 2 safeties a game. That would never obviously happen, but
And they be rotating, so they always fresh. Whew, it'd be a fight. It'd be a dog fight to the quarterback.
I know.
They be in there.
The question would just be who's getting home on this play.
Yeah.
Man,
Miles would be like, I gotta step my game up because he gonna get there first.
that's too crazy.
I'll be in the secondary. I'd sit down if I was one.
The best one.
I'd sit down at 15 yards. Like,
That is going to take a big pile of cash, though.
The best one is the Saquon Barkley one.
I think so, too.
that was Jason's favorite as well.
And I think the second best one for me is Kirk Cousins. But
Well,
only, that's a break glass in the case of emergency trade.
y'all fooling yourselves. The best one was Trent Brown. You gotta have it.
I don't know.
You gotta have it.
I would take that one too. That wasn't a bad trade either.
And Hollywood. You guys said you'd do the Hollywood Brown trade.
Hey,
I
I
do
think
that
the
one,
Nuggets
too.
got a future as a GM.